Hi guys, today I'm going to be reviewing a new helicopter to the fleet, the Align Trex 450L Dominator. And I thought, well, why do I need another helicopter? I have two Blade 450X helicopters. I got a Trex 550 DFC helicopter and a whole bunch of micro helicopters. But after looking at this helicopter, it started growing on me, and I thought, you know what, this is kind of a nice helicopter. A lot of people say this is a mini Trex 700, which if it is, it's a lot smaller. It has a lot of characteristics as it, but by performance and visibility, obviously not. But it's kind of cool that some of the features it does have as a 700, but that's not really why I got it. I just like the look of it, just the quality of the workmanship as far as all the aluminum and different things it's made. Now, Blade is a really good brand. I learned a lot on it. They've taught you a lot. They help you out a lot on different things. But once you get to a certain point, you just kind of want to move on from it. Plastic is very good. I still believe in plastic, but I'm just kind of getting sick of plastic. Nothing wrong with plastic, but there's a point when you feel very comfortable and you're flying that, you know, any position you put your helicopter in, you can get out of it in every orientation you can. And once you get to that point, you're pretty safe to say you can move on to something that has metal, a lot of metal or a lot of aluminum on it. And although I still do crash, and every pilot does, you always have a bad day or the lighting's bad, but you can minimize it a lot, especially when you're just starting out. I wouldn't recommend a helicopter like this when you're first starting out, but when you progress, the fear of flying, you get very confident in what you do, and then eventually you'll know what positions you can keep your helicopter in, and that you'll be safe, and you can fly many hours and fly safe, but have tons of fun too. So I was thinking that I was going to review the helicopter and build it first, then review it. But after looking through the parts and stuff, I thought, well, maybe I'll tell you and show you some of the things on it right now before I build it, because once I get it built, it's going to be hard to point out different items on the helicopter. Like the box says, it is a 6L system. I do like that. The 6L, you think, oh, tons of power. It's going to have twice as much power as a 3S system. Not necessarily. It doesn't really work that way. It's going to have a little bit more power, but it's not going to be twice as much power on that. This is a 3-cell battery, a 2200 milliamp. It's going to be about the size. It's going to be a little bit bigger. Sorry, guys, I don't have the 6-cell battery yet. They're in the mail right now, so they should be here shortly. So the next video review, I'll have those and I can explain a little bit more about those. But basically, at least my battery pack, the next one is just going to be just a little longer, a little thicker, and a little wider. Not much though. And but it's not going to be a 2200 milliamp. It's going to be a 1300 milliamp at 6L. So it's quite a bit smaller on the capacity, but the voltage is more. So that I just don't want you guys to think that, yes, this is going to be a super power, and it does have tons of power, but it's not going to be what some people might think is super, super extreme on that. But we'll kind of see when I start flying. I'm not exactly sure. So yeah, it has a 6-cell motor on it. We're going to talk a little bit about that right now. I think we can probably move on to that right now. But I kind of wanted to show you what a Blade helicopter. This came off my Blade 450X. I actually a couple days ago I took it off because I heard some grinding on it, and I was just ready to fly it. I plugged it in. It's like, what is going on? And it took me a little while to figure it out. And then I lifted this up. I actually could pull this thing right out. Let me see if I can do it. Pull it right out. Yeah. Just like that. So, and that's how the helicopter came. Obviously, the pinion was stuck because with the gear on it, but it pulled right out. So, and you can see the bearings. The bearings were just shot in there too. So, I did oil them, but it's just that time with those high power settings and I normally run mine full power all the time until the 3 minutes are up. Then I shut her down. So I run them hard though. But so that's kind of what that looks like. But I wanted to compare the two motors. Let's see if I can get this on. There we go. That just slops right back on. And I wanted to kind of compare the two motors with the 6S. You can see. Let's see. You can see the difference right there. How much difference it is right there. So it is quite a bit larger. One thing I do like about the 6L, the Align, it does have a built-in fan inside there, so it does suck air. I believe it sucks air through the bottom and blows out the top, or it might suck air through the top and blow it down to the bottom. And don't exactly remember. But as you can see, that bearing is a lot more beefier than the Blade 450X is, obviously. And if I compare it this way, hard to see on camera, but the shaft is a lot bigger too. It's a lot thicker. That's nice. And just basically the wires too through here, they're a lot stronger looking. Overall, it's just a better motor. It's basically a mini Trex 550 DFC, the one that previous helicopter that I have, or I still have, but it's basically just a smaller version of a 550 or a 700. They just miniaturized it a little bit, and I like the look of the red on it. So, but that's basically all I have to say about the motors on that. Other things is I'm not really necessarily like the 3GX system. So I got a Spectrum AR7200, and that I love it. I don't want to say too many bad things about the 3GX system, but just the setup, it's not very fun. So I don't recommend it. I'm not going to get another one. If somebody gives me one, yes, I'll take it, but I'd rather pay just a little extra and get something like that. Like this item here. So that's what I'm going to do. Now and then we'll look at these servos too. It comes with these servos right here. You can see it's the DS430M digitals, and they all come in a bag. Sorry guys, I'm not going to take anything out of the bag just because I don't want to lose anything before when I start the build. So bear with me on that. But also, I'm not going to take it out of the bag too, but I also have these high-tech 5065 MGs, and I compare it with them, and they look almost exactly the same, so they should fit inside the helicopter if I ever need them. But these are aluminum. These are metal gear servos. These are too. Had really good success with these. And I never thought upgrading servos would help out a lot, but it definitely does. In the Blade 450X, having these 5065 MGs really helped out. It made it more responsive, and you could just and the everything was in control. There was no slop or no slippage, and you could really feel like a little bit you're more connected having these in the helicopter. So I'm assuming these 5065 MGs are going to be pretty comparable to these servos. I'm not sure. If they're not, then I'm just going to swap them out with these high-techs, and the high-techs ones are great. They've never let me down, and they've been in crashes and everything. They've been great. So that being said, I think I haven't looked at any reviews if they are swappable with these, but I'm pretty sure they would be. If not, well then you could always replace the gears inside here with metal gears. So okay, and then yeah, this is just the ESC, just a kind of a standard one. They kind of came up with it with their own design, the Align design, and yeah, it's nice. I was thinking about getting a Castle, but I'm gonna just use this one for a while until see how that works. On that, this is just the mini. It reminds me of my mini my Trex 550 DFC, It's almost identical to that with the metal gears in there. Now they did come up with the plastic skids, which now they're nice. I mean, they're good, and I like the imprints and how it's all set up on there. Now we'll move on to the next thing, which is the head. Head's really nice. It should work out well. I'm not really sure. Only one thing I didn't. I wish I would have had on it. Maybe I can upgrade it later. But if you see the head on it, it doesn't have that ball on top where the blade grips go. There's normally like a ball. I'm sorry guys, I don't know what it's exactly called, but they don't have that on this helicopter. I wish they did, but just for looks, it looks neat. But just the milling and the design, looks like Align did a really good job on that. So hats off to them on that. And then the next thing is the tail assembly. Now the tail assembly, seriously guys, it looks just like the Trex 550 DFC and the 700. The 700 and the 550 have exactly the same tail. This one is just a mini one. Almost exactly the same. I can't really, there's just a few differences that without comparing them exactly, there's a few differences as far as let's see if we can get in there. There's just like a little washer here normally on the 550, and then on the 700 or 550 there's a bolt goes here with a nut on here, and this one just has it screwed or threaded through for the blade grips on the tail. But other than that, it looks identically to the same on that without opening it and and comparing it. Just what I can remember on my 550, it looks exactly the same on that. Yeah. So. And also I kind of liked, it's just a plastic coating on the rudder skid stand, but I like that. It looks neat. So that's another reason why I went with it. Sorry guys to keep boring you on everything, but sometimes it's kind of cool. I'm mostly just doing this review just to help the guys out that need help or that haven't seen the helicopter and that kind of want to learn as much from it as possible. Trying to help you guys out on that. Now this is the helical cut gear, which is a slanted gear, and the bearings look really nice inside there. One thing I thought was really cool is if you can see in here, there's like it's a little fan blade inside there. I thought that was really cool. I've never, I guess maybe I'm pretty slow in learning, but I've never seen anything like that before. But maybe it's been out on a lot of helicopters and probably has, but I've never seen anything that has a little fan inside there. I thought that was kind of neat. And then on the back side or on the lower side, they have exactly the same thing. It has a little fan in there for that. That's gonna help out. So I thought that was pretty cool on that. Sorry for the flutter, guys. Yeah, and then the blade, let's see, just more of the, I liked how this is how the 700 is. I'm going to probably be getting a 700 later for this winter, but this one is just good enough to get me going for the spring, for the fall. But I just like all the plastic pieces on here as far as they're integrated in there. They're like almost welded inside. And it looks kind of neat on that as well. Let's see, and I don't think we're going to really talk about that too much. And then you probably won't be able to see it inside here. But there's some, this is going to be the support basically right here. I like that look. It looks neat. I just like the look of it. So that's kind of why I got the whole helicopter, just basically because of the looks and a little bit of the performance. And I just didn't really want I just didn't really want another blade helicopter. Now it is a little longer than the Blade 450X, I believe. I don't know how much more. When I do the next review, I'll show you it. But this is obviously the tail boom. Now I did a little diameter. I didn't measure it, but it looks like this boom was just a little smaller. I think that's because they have a tail. They have the, let's see, the belt drive. It needs maybe a little bit of room. I can't tell. This one has a torque tube. I'm not exactly sure on that. So, but one thing I do know, the blades are longer. No, I did have my blades. Let me see. Where did my blades go? Oh, yeah. Now, I do know the 450X, or 450, has longer blades. I'm going to pause the tape for a second. Okay, now I'm back. Now, this one, the bottom one is a 450X, and the top one is, this one is the 450 Dominator. Now, if I put the 450X on top, it's basically the same length. And if I put it together, right about there, they're just a little longer. Now, you can do some measurements. If you go online, you can find out all the measurements on there. But that's basically how much difference it is. So it's not a lot of difference, but it's enough to make a difference, because it's going to be extended. It's going to be basically that much longer when you get the other side on too. So that's kind of what that's like. And then the other thing is I wanted to show you the canopies on that. I didn't really see any reviews yet on canopies on the sizes. I should probably put this down so I don't scratch it at all. But this is the canopy. This is the Blade 450X canopy. And I'll get out here and let's see if I can show you at all. But it's a little bit, yeah, it's probably about a hand's length wider or longer on that. The looks are way better on the Align, obviously. Now, thickness wise, it's hard to tell, but it looks, maybe at the widest point it's about the same, but it's definitely longer. But I'm going to do another review once I get everything going on that. I just kind of wanted to show you a few different things. I don't want to make this video too long, but obviously it is a little long-winded tonight. But other than that, that's about it. So guys, I just wanted to thank you for listening to me. If you stayed with me for the whole 17 minutes or 18 minutes when I'm done, I just wanted to thank you for listening, and I'll be doing more reviews. So thanks for watching. Thanks. Bye.